So, hello everyone. Welcome to ARTCON. Thank you so much for coming. And today we're going to be talking about how you can apply to ESA.
So to begin with, a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent Indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. We further acknowledge that the Toronto District School Board is hosted on the lands of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Wendat. We also recognize the enduring presence of all First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. We encourage you to research the original occupants of the land where you reside. And brief disclaimer, this session is going to be recorded for either administrative use or to be re-uploaded onto our YouTube channel, ESA Contemporary Art. Follow ESA Contemporary Art on YouTube. The chat and Q&A and your usernames will remain within the session and will not be published. As always, we wish to make this a very positive, insightful, and supportive experience. Please refrain from disrespectful commentary or misconduct. If we see some of any kind, it will not be tolerated and you will be excused from the session.
So, who are we?
I can go first. All right. My name's Emma. I'm a grade 10 student. I applied to ESA in grade 9, so I was in grade 8 when I applied, as I think probably most applicants are. And I also applied to the International Baccalaureate program, as well as some other intense academic programs. So I come from a very academic background and ended up here.
Hi, I'm Amna. I also applied for grade 9, and I also applied to 3 other art high schools.
Hi, I'm
No, go ahead.
Go on.
Hi, I'm Will. I came here in grade 9. I applied to other arts high schools, and I also did the ESA audition process twice because I double major in music theater.
I'm Sasha. I am a grade 10 applicant, so I applied in grade 9. My first year was in grade 10, just coming from another high school. And yeah, that's who we are. And I guess we're going to talk a little bit about, what is ESA? What is this program? Because it really is a really unique and special program. There is no other high school like ESA, especially like the contemporary arts program, because we're not very traditional, as I think most of us would agree. We don't have any, specific skill classes. We're not focused on drawing a hand well or anything. We really just get a lot of freedom and free time to work as artists with our peers, and that allows for a lot of experimentation, and I think plays a key role in our success as a program.
Mm-hmm. I would definitely say that one strength that is unique to the experience of being at ESA is to be respected in yourself as an artist. To be respected and given the opportunity to really take advantage of everything at your disposal and not funneled into any particular category, any particular skill set, and then simultaneously given the opportunity to become whatever kind of artist and whatever kind of person, furthermore, that you want to be, and to do things that are not constrained by your age, that are not constrained by your grade. And so we have people here that are incredibly impressive. And a lot of that is just thanks to the freedom and the unique nature of this school.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a really small school, really small classes, so you really get to know everyone, and it's almost impossible for it not to be a community. Like, you really get close with your classmates, and you really feel like you're doing it all together.
Yeah, we really are a very close-knit community, and that being said, because we don't have specific classes for specific mediums, if there's someone a grade above you or in your grade who is doing something that you really admire, anyone is welcome to go and speak to each other and learn from each other. And that's another huge thing within our program, in that all of the students are really learning from each other.
Yeah, and the best part about ESACA is that we are given unlimited opportunities for everything. from materials, from people to speak to connections. We have everything. So this program does not limit you to any material or any person or any pathway you want in life. So it's a very, very awesome program.
So creating the portfolio.
Above
Will, would you
all,
like to start off?
oh,
Will, go ahead.
above all, we want to see that you're passionate about making art. We want to see that this is what you want to do. Because if you got to care about this, you got to want it bad. I won't speak for anyone else, but I can safely assume that they all really love doing what they're doing, and they really love doing it when they were auditioning. So just show how passionate you are. Include in terms of what you should include. Someone else can take that.
You're gonna
Yeah,
need
well,
at least
go
10
ahead.
pieces, at the very minimum 10 pieces, but feel free to bring more, and any medium is welcome. Photography, writing, painting, fashion design, even baking, whatever it is that you're passionate about, please bring that in, including work that you aren't super proud of, and maybe talk about why you weren't proud of it or what you would change about it in the future.
One thing that I would take to heart, and I think that I wish I had been aware of when I was applying to ESA, is that you are not being assessed based on your technical proficiency in everything. This isn't an examination to see like what art you've studied, how well you can like shade a sphere or a box or anything. It's about figuring out what kind of person you are and whether you're a good fit for the school. And a lot of that is figuring out how you operate as an artist in your own right. So don't restrict your portfolio. Don't keep it limited to, whatever you think is beautiful and perfect and technically correct. We want to see who you are as an artist and as a person. And that is what you should include, and you should show that through your work.
Also, any unfinished work, any ideas you have for the future projects is really good as well. We really want to see everything. So work you've already done, work you're not proud of, unfinished work, anything you want.
And also process is really important, being able to show some of your process work so we can see how you think is also really key. So if you have any, documentation of your process of any projects or, ideas you haven't started on, as Amna said, bring that in as well. Virtual auditions, exciting. So this year auditions are going to be virtual. Which, can be a great thing because that means you get the time and the space to put together an audition and a portfolio that you're really proud of. So I guess I'll talk a bit about actually putting together the virtual audition. You're going to need to document your work. You can either take photos of your work and turn that in alongside your video, or show your work in your video. And so, yeah, you're going to need to make a video. There is really no time limit, but you should include, yes, all your work and explain who you are, what your work is, everything we just talked about previously, and why you want to be in the program. Really anything about you and your work, because at the end of the day, we just want to get to know you and who you are as a person, and how you fit into this program and art making in general.
It's like a stand-in for what we used to do in person, which is an interview. So, it's talking to somebody, even if it's in a slightly more formal context, you are presenting yourself. And like we said, your art is supposed to be a reflection of yourself, but this is your opportunity to speak to the camera and to tell people who you really are.
Anyone want to add anything else on that? Or
I don't know if you mentioned this, but there's no time limit on your video. Feel free to have it as long as you want or as short as you want. Just make sure to include everything that Sasha just said.
There's also no such thing as a perfect video, and it'll just do what you're proud of, do what you love.
Just be true to yourself, be true to what you want to get out of this, because people are going to look at that and people are going to see how genuine you are. And, you know, if you're not a good fit for the school, that's fine. But you definitely won't be the right fit if you lie or if you misrepresent yourself. So just be true to who you are and to who you want to be and who you can see yourself being in the coming years. And I think you'll do wonderfully.
And there really is no judgment or expectation for one way of doing things. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of just a thing with the school in general.
Yeah, just generally speaking, like, just do you, seriously. Like, yeah. So now a bit about all of our experiences with applying. Emma, did you want to start this off?
Sure. So yeah, like I said, I applied to a lot of academic schools. In middle school, I was, I was a gifted kid. I was really wrapped up in intelligence and who was the smartest. And so going to an art school, even though I have been doing art my whole life and it is a passion of mine, it was very scary to have to accept that and to have to like confront that maybe this is something that I really wanted to be doing, and doing the audition process and like looking over the work I had and creating a portfolio. I would recommend creating a portfolio even if you don't really want to apply, because it makes you look at your work and it makes you look at yourself as an artist and yeah, as a person in a different light and through the way that other people might view you. And it definitely taught me that I really, like, I valued my art. I valued my art a lot more than I realized. And coming into the school and auditioning, it gave me a bit of a sense of clarity as to how I wanted to be as an artist in the future. And so making that decision to like shift and like become a visual artist and to really commit to that, which I don't think I even really did until like grade 10, sort of earlier this year. But that was a big experience. And even if, you know, you don't want to apply to the school, like just to be able to look at yourself and look at yourself through a critical lens, it's really valuable, and I'm really glad that I did it.
Mm-hmm. And also through the auditions, you're given this space where you're really taken seriously for what it is that you like to do, because I think it's a pretty universal experience for most of us who did, you know, art classes in middle school, where you were kind of minimized and your work wasn't really that important, and your teachers didn't, I mean, I'm not speaking for everyone, but at least in my personal experience, didn't necessarily like take you and your work as seriously as you wanted them to.
Honestly,
and
like just the whole experience of being in middle elementary school.
yeah, exactly. And so then being able to you know, have this time and space to talk to people, or in this case, you know, make a video and know that you're going to be taken seriously for whatever it is that you're doing is also really valuable. And really just worth auditioning for.
Yeah, the actual audition itself, I remember when I auditioned for the other schools, we were put in a room and it felt more like an interrogation, like judging you on your art, your skill. You can draw like a lion, or can you do this still life in under 10 minutes? Whereas ESA felt more like a conversation, and they just wanted to hear what your art was, like who you are as a person, and they didn't really care. They don't care at all about your grades. Like I remember the other one was like, oh, so what was your grades last time? Or like, what did you get on your last report card? I was like, no, I'm not gonna tell you. I didn't say that, but I really wanted to be viewed as an artist and not as a student, like that was being interrogated. So I felt that was the most important experience.
Yeah, that just brings up a funny anecdote for me, because when I did IB has an interview process that you have to do, at least at the school that I applied to. And I think I probably should have realized that I was really meant to be going to an art school, because I did like a huge self-portrait as the creative portion of my IB interview. And so I went in there like, yeah, I also applied to an art school. And there, you know, it was what you said, like an interrogation. You had to provide a formal presentation of yourself, which was obviously so manicured and so untrue to like who I really was at the time. But like, I think that that's something that I would strongly discourage doing for applying here, because it is like, it's about you, and don't paint yourself in a false light. Whatever you are is great, even if it isn't perfect for the school.
Yeah, and even just the environment. I remember going to the other schools and all the higher grades would be looking down on you and like your art, kind of silently judging you. And then you're all waiting in like the same hallway, everybody's judging each other, you know? And then like the people themselves, like the interviewers were just as worse. But when you come to ESA, right away you're like you're introduced with positivity. Like there are students wanting to help you, there's art everywhere, they all want to see you succeed, and everybody is like on the ground sitting on the same level, like, you know, like the students and the interviewer themselves, they're all on the same level, you know, they're not like better than, you know, one another, which I felt from the previous schools. But yeah, I remember like feeling leaving the audition, and I was feeling like so happy. I was like, yes, this is where I want to be, this is the type of environment where I want to be.
Yeah, very much.
I think in the audition,
No, go
I
ahead.
think in the audition, something really, it is really hard to be honest with yourself, because we're always like, you know, you just be yourself, be honest. But it's really tricky to do that. And I think that at least I do, and I've seen a lot of people still struggle with that up until, you know, grade 12, like trying to be authentic and be honest. So, and I know for sure I was not honest in my audition, at least not fully. I made up a lot of stuff, especially with my photography series that I do. I still do it. I've been doing it since grade 8. I submitted it to ESA, and I still submit it for my assignments today. And I've been doing it this long because I genuinely love it, and it's one of my favorite things to do. But of course, during my audition and during like grade 9, I was very much trying to turn it into something it wasn't. But I did it because I loved it. So to like be honest with yourself, obviously it's hard, and you will see yourself change over the next 4 years. But just I don't know, if you love something, that's about as honest as it can get, if you truly love something, at least in my opinion.
And on honesty, one more thing is that I found when I was preparing for my audition that I was making work specifically for the audition, and making work that I thought, you know, ESA would like to see, and work that I thought would be successful at ESA. And it wasn't good and it wasn't honest and it wasn't me. Um, and so I know that that's something that is really tempting to do and somewhat inevitable when preparing for an audition like this, you know, getting into this thought pattern of, oh, what have other students done? They obviously like that, I should do that too. But I strongly discourage you from making work solely for this audition, because at the end of the day, that's also just slightly dishonest as to who you are as a person, and who you are as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because ESA does not want to limit your portfolio at all. Like compared to other schools, ESA wants to see everything. My experience with other schools, they wanted specific stuff. So they wanted to see like a sculpture, and then they wanted to see a drawing of a chair, and then they wanted to see this and this. But ESA, they just want to see anything in your portfolio. So I think that's super important as well.
I think there's also something it's the same along those lines. This might be a little cerebral and abstract, but I think there's also along the lines of there's no we want to see everything in any medium. We also want to see anything in any mindset, or in any, I don't know what's the right way to phrase this, but there's no because I know when I was applying to ESA, I heard a lot, because it's a contemporary art program, and I knew a lot of like my parents and a lot of people were telling me oh, contemporary art is modern art, and it means it has a meaning, and it means it's, you know, deep or whatever, and it has a meaning. So that I was suddenly like, oh, my art, I need to be like I need to be making political statements with my work. Is that what I'm supposed to be doing right now? So, which is not true. If you want to, I mean, yes, go for it. But there is no sort of abstract way that your art needs to be. Like, it doesn't need to have some grand meaning, or it doesn't need to be, you know, like a cerebral. Like, if it is, that's great. Yeah, to talk about it. If it isn't, you don't have to make it anything, because by the nature of it being your art and by the nature of it being digested by other people, it will be cerebral and it will have meaning. So I did that. I still do that. I still try to make everything too cerebral, but your art is going to be deep and meaningful no matter what, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. I think like a good idea is just to come to the school as you are, and like whatever that is, it's likely to be enough. It's worthwhile. And to present yourself as anything else, like other people have said, it's dishonest, but it will hurt you in the long run. And that's a mistake that I think I've made like a lot of times, just generally in my life, just being dishonest. And you know, it's like it's not worth it to get into a school and then discover that you hate it. But I think that if I were to like describe sort of being at ESA, and along with that, like the process of auditioning, it's a conversation. You know, you are constantly interacting with other people, and there's always a back and forth. It's the interplay between like you and your art and other people and their art, and that's really what brings the program to life. And so in that audition, like keep that in mind, maybe just that it isn't a performance. It's very rarely going to be a performance and a demonstration of your own personal like glory or superiority or skill. It's about you, and it's about your connections to yourself and your connections to other people, and how you build that up in a conversation. And yeah.
Speaking of conversation, if any of our lovely participants have any questions, you can drop them in the Q&A as we go along. I think we're going to have a Q&A thing at the end, maybe. But if you have one that you want to drop in, just go for it. This is
Don't forget it.
Yeah. We'll derail any conversation to answer any of your questions about you. So don't even worry about it. Anyways.
And students are like masters of tangents.
Yeah.
One more point on personal experience. So I applied a year late to ESA, and so if there's anyone here watching this who's applying for grade 10 or 11 or 12, just wanted to add that it's terrifying coming into a high school later than everyone else, because obviously those connections are already somewhat established between students and staff and within the program. And so, yes, that's terrifying. And I was so scared. Oh my God. I was like, everyone's going to be so much further ahead than me. Everyone else has a year ahead of me in the program. But really genuinely within the first week that I came to the school, I was welcomed with open arms, and everyone was so welcoming and so nurturing, and it really felt like I belonged there. And so seriously, don't stress or try your best not to about coming in a little late, because you will feel so at home once you do. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. So that was kind of a rhyme, actually. Wow. Anyway, moving on.
Been very cheesy this whole time, I think.
Art's cool. Next slide. Yes.
Yeah, we can keep going.
So, or did we get a question?
Oh yeah.
I think we did.
Was it difficult building?
Why don't we go over this like a little bit later?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, we'll go back to that. Oh no, I have to.
We will answer your question.
We will answer your question.
Opportunities. Okay. The minute you come into ESA, a bunch of opportunities are thrown onto you. Not to overwhelm you at all. They're just like spread over time. So Will, Sasha, Emma, do you want to go over some of them?
One of you should do it. You guys are in grade 11. You know what it's like.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of them. They change every year too. Like there's never like we do this every year. It changes. Some of them are more constant. Like photography happens quite often.
We could start off with like portfolio day.
Yeah, sure. So like, portfolio day is the perfect example of one of the opportunities we have at ESA to showcase our work. It happens in grade 12, and it's in the times when everyone could walk around together. we would have it in the school, and we would convert the first floor into an art gallery, and all the students would have their own little area with their own set of art and their own little desk and whatever. And the people who came from the universities to come talk to us and recruit us for their programs, that's where they would come on portfolio day, and they would talk to the artists and see the work. Recently, during COVID, we have our website, portfolioday.ca. Highly recommend browsing through it if you haven't. It's some lovely, lovely art and lovely writing and incredible people. So yeah, that's a huge example of one of the opportunities we have at ESA, but there's more.
I mean, like, even just saying that, like, it's so bonkers, like, as a thing, just that, like, university reps come to the school, and like it is one of those things that you kind of realize, like, at the school, that, oh, this is not like anywhere else. It's like sort of first day of grade 10, I think Mr. Very just like sat us down and was like, all right, you have a year and a half to prepare for portfolio day, get ready. You need 20 good pieces of art, get on it. And like the opportunity that it gives you, and obviously like none of us have done portfolio day, but you see just the incredible work, and you should definitely go check out the portfolio day website. Just the quality and the clarity and just the level of work that the grade 12s are producing. It is really incredible and so inspiring. You should check it out. I don't think that there is really anything like it.
I remember being in grade 9 and seeing like a portfolio day countdown for the grade 12s, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no time, I gotta get started. But honestly, like, if you don't know what you want to do in grade 9 yet, like, don't stress at all. Grade 10 is kind of where it starts, but obviously, like, we're gonna be here for you the whole way. Like, nobody can ever start too late, so even if you're from grade 11, it's never too late.
And even aside from art shows, we're given a lot of opportunities. Like our teachers, Mr. Very and Mr. Novak, are so great at, you know, giving us competitions or other shows to submit to outside of ESA. For example, there's the Albright Knox Gallery that a lot of ESA students are a part of every year. Scholastic's Art and Writing competition. There are a ton of different things that are given to us that we can submit to, and to be able to build a resume and put our work out there and practice submitting work. And so that's another great thing that comes from ESA and our amazing teachers.
Yeah, and that all leads to preparing for portfolio day as well. Like preparing the submissions, like if you have written stuff you have to do, like every experience you go through at ESA, from grade 9 to grade 11 to even to grade 12, they all lead you to ESA portfolio day, and even after you graduate as well.
I feel like I should bring my cat up just because, like, I'm a Zaja.
The cat just woke up. He's part of it.
There's the opportunities. And just, of course, a lot of studio time. Like we have 3 studios, I think, 3 main ones. We have class 4. What? Well, there's one that I don't know about. It's been a while since I've been in the school. We have 4 studios, and they're lovely places. They have books along the walls that you can read. They have painted floors, painted walls, whatever, they painted doors. A great environment, and every day there's people working in there, typing on their computers in there, drawing, painting, whatever. Studio time every day. Yeah, pretty much. And even in the later years, I know a lot of people stay in the studios after, at least when the school was open. People would stay after school to just get stuff in, especially when you're grinding towards that portfolio day time. You stay there till, I don't know, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., late at night. And yeah, 17 million in scholarship offers this year among everyone. Great stuff.
Yeah, Mr. Very just dropped that in the chat for us.
There's also a lot of one-on-one time with Mr. Very and Mr. Novak. They're here to help you the whole way. Even with the class themselves, like if you need help, the class will be there for you to talk as a community, to help you through any difficult, like, you know, anything you're going through. So Once you're in ESA, that's it. You're not alone. It's a community.
And grads, and like it's not just limited to your class. Like you go to the different grades and you can talk to different grades, and then furthermore you talk to, you know, grads and like people who come back to talk. It's a tight-knit family.
I feel like this is a good time to answer the first question. Should we?
Yeah.
I can't see the chat. Hold on. Actually, never mind. I can.
Mhm.
What was the question before? Was it difficult building a relationship with the other artists? Once you got to ESA, was it difficult connecting to people and stuff? No.
No.
Like grade 9, everybody's kind of in this panic mode of like, oh no, I need friends. So people just kind of grab onto each other and like stick immediately. But even those like split-second relationships, like it's incredible just how much you end up bonding with people over the course of like spending a year doing art together.
Yeah.
Also,
Especially, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, especially because so much of our time in the studio, well, not all of it, but very often we, you know, sit down as a whole group, everyone just talking. That is a really beautiful thing, and so many great connections come from that. So
Yeah, and Mr. Barry and Mr. Novak, they're always bringing in grads to talk about us, and they're always like, "Oh, please feel free to follow up with me if you want." Like, nobody's being closed off for anything. It's really a community. Even the higher grades, they do seem intimidating. I was definitely intimidated, but then once you get to talk to them, once you get to help them do art, it's really a community. So no, it's not difficult to build relationships because the environment we're in is based on community work and community relationships.
It's inevitable to build relationships.
You can't escape it even if you try.
Oh, here's a question. Wait, can I answer this one?
Go ahead.
wait, can you read it? I can't.
Yeah, I'll read it out. Is contemporary art just visual art? Haha.
Oh no.
Gotten through this entire year doing barely any visual arts. I do photography as one of my things. That's what my Instagram is. I'll drop it after. But I do music a lot, and I write a lot of plays, and I write a lot of I write a lot of theater. But I do a lot of music, and I'm looking at a lot of music schools for university. And they totally accept that because it's totally there. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they're lying to me, but they say, yeah, that's like, it's still contemporary art. They're going to support you in whatever you want to do. Yeah, follow me on Instagram. Also, if you have any questions that you don't want to ask now or you want to ask later, or if you just want to chat, say hi, ask for some book recommendations, give us some book recommendations, you can always, contact me on Instagram. I won't speak for anyone else, but I'm sure they'll be happy to talk. Yeah, contact us on Instagram, or anywhere else. Anyways, yeah, but I do a lot of music, and I do a lot of especially double majoring in music theater. I do a lot of performance. Once the world opens back up again, I want to start doing some major performance work. I think that'll be really cool. But they'll support you in anything. It's not just visual arts. We call it VA all the time, which is kind of a lie. That's just so we dumb it down for the other majors. But it's like it's
everything.
Yeah, it's anything. Yeah.
I do embroidery.
Yeah.
A lot of people write.
Yeah, a lot of writing.
Lots of songwriting.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha, what do you do, Sasha?
I do fashion design, mostly in photography. I know someone else in our program, Zara, she has stained glass, which is so cool. Oh my God.
Ben does a lot of math related graphing sort of stuff. Really cool.
Mm-hmm. Prints on leaves, like.
Oh, yeah.
Luca wrote a novel that Luca grad from 3 years ago.
She wrote it in grade 10.
Yes. And she had a sequel to it too, didn't she? Released after ESA, I think. That could be a lie. I could be completely making that up. But I think, yeah.
I think she's written another book, I think.
She's doing okay. So yeah, no, it's like, it's anything. It's a very welcoming artistic community.
Someone want to take the difference between grade 6 to 8 art and ESACA as opportunities for growth. That's
I
Mr.
think
Very.
a big difference is that in middle school art, you know, you're given a strict curriculum that you have to follow, and your teacher is probably very keen on following that curriculum. And you know, the color wheel and trying pastels and acrylic paint. And while that can be really fun, it's also quite limiting. And so, as we talked about a bit earlier, there really isn't much of that here, in that you get all the space and resources and time you want to really do whatever you feel you need to be doing. Um, and so that just in and of itself is a huge contributor to growth and growing your artistic process and your skills.
Yeah, in middle school, the curriculum is very generalized, whereas ESA is individualized. So once you submit a piece of work, or once you're in the process of submitting a piece of work in ESA, you're always talking about the process. You're always, you know, being given critiques. Whereas middle school is just like, do this, submit it. If we don't like it, that's too bad for you. But here it's like, we'll talk you through the process. We'll be here for you. If you want to change it, let us know. So it's like, it's very community based.
Kind of like, you know, like in middle school, I feel like it was like make art for us. But at ESA, it's just like make art with us. We're all together and we're all making stuff. And as long as you're creating, like that's all that matters.
That's the perfect way of describing it. Yeah.
Make art with us, not for us. That's should be our slogan.
That should be
Better credit me, pay me royalties.
Yeah. Every time someone reads it.
We have a couple more questions. So do you know if they're doing summer camps this year? Are we doing summer camps?
I assume
Not sure.
Mr. Berry, I don't think we're doing summer camps this year. I could be wrong and it could change. It all really depends on COVID. Yeah, Mr. Berry said no. Because of COVID, it's very limited. And yeah, next questions.
What's the acceptance rate? Although wait, with the summer camp thing, still like get in touch with us over the summer. Like get in touch with our grads, get in touch with our students. You can still make opportunities for yourself if you're so inclined. I mean, I would have never done that in grade 8. That's so daunting, but trust me, like this whole presentation seems so hypocritical because like I never did this stuff when I was applying. We're saying this so that you guys don't make the same mistakes as us.
Promise, we're not that scary.
Oh yeah, we're not scary. Come talk to us. We'll be very happy to talk to you. We could, you know, look over your art. We can whatever, you know.
Please
Yeah.
go ahead, Will.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, so
Give us all on Instagram.
Yes, feel free to reach out to Mr. Berry, Mr. Noakes. I remember from mine, after I got accepted, I was like, Mr. Berry, I want to come in for a tour right now. And then he took me on a tour and I met all the grade 12s and they were all so nice. And I was like, oh my gosh, I just got a tour of ESA. And I remember, I think it was orientation night. I literally took the blueprint home so I can memorize it. I was obsessed, okay? I was obsessed.
Yeah, so I believe that someone asked about like the acceptance rate. It's about 30%.
Don't worry about it. Don't
think too much about it.
Acceptance rates don't even matter. It's it won't be in your mind when you're doing the audition or when you're, you know, it shouldn't be, at least. It wasn't during mine. Before it was and then after it was, but while you're actually doing it, it should just be about you and your art. It's really like don't stress about that.
And then we have the question, did you guys hear about ARTCON from ESA? Can you go to the previous slide, Sasha, super quick?
Yes.
So for the student-led opportunities, this ARTCON is a perfect example of it. This whole virtual webinar was led by students. Will, do you want to touch up on that?
Yeah, sure. It's led by a lot of students. Mr. Very just sort of came to us one day and was like, came to us in the grade 12s and all the grades and said, yo, we should do ARTCON. And we were like, yeah, what is that? And then he was like, I don't know, just we'll do conferences on Zoom or whatever. And we're like, sure, can we do one? And he's like, yeah, can I do one? Yeah, let's do this. And yeah, so it was, everyone just built it together. We have people behind the Zoom meeting right now, working to make it all run, all student run. Mr. Very is just here to watch and make sure none of us say anything bad. Yeah, it's but this is a ARTCON is a totally student run thing.
Yeah. It's
Some-
like ARTCON is ESA.
Yeah,
We
it's a
didn't
big-
hear about it.
And some other examples of student opportunities would be the fashion show. We had a really successful fashion show last year. What else? And there is a student who ran their own, or is running their own gallery right now, called Us Contemporary Gallery. Go check them out. What are some other examples?
There's some small things like the Zine Club is like cool. Everyone makes zines, lovely stuff. I bought one over there. Wait,
Fun.
I bought this one.
I have
and I thought this one was so nice. I want to like write music to go along with it because I like read it once in a while. I'm like, this is so cool. Anyways, yeah. So the Zine Club is really cool. They have like little stuff like that. Yeah.
Everybody's
There
a
are a lot
little
of
crazy.
other shows and different majors that are really fun to go to, like film. Film majors do a 60-second film festival every year, and everyone goes to that, and it's amazing. So a lot of great shows too, and student-led shows like the Because I Am a Girl show that happened. Go check out the website; it's wonderful.
Mhm.
And there's a gallery space there on that website.
I
So
believe that like the MT majors were like on the CBC this morning, on, like
Yeah.
the radio.
I think they were.
Will can probably speak to
They
it more.
are.
He's the
I'm
dual
in.
major.
I'm in that. Go watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm in the background. I'm dancing.
Secret.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So any other questions about like how to apply, questions about the school? I hope that we persuaded you that you should apply by now.
Yeah. More questions actually. There's 3 more. So is it official the auditions will be virtual this year, or do you think that can change at some point?
I think it's safe to say, I mean, we don't know anything for sure. No one does, but I think it's safe to say that it will be and plan for it to be virtual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My impression is that it's pretty concrete. Like, unless there's just some radical change of trajectory, it's going to be online, it's going to be virtual. That's the plan right now, and I think that it's probably going to stay.
Which isn't that bad. Like it's not a. Don't think of it as a hindrance. It's still a great way to audition. Mr. Ray, I remember him coming to class the day after the auditions opened, and he was like, "This is like the strongest year. Like, how am I gonna decide? Every single video is so strong. So use it to your advantage, you know."
Yeah. What sports does the school offer? Basketball, volleyball.
Yeah, all of
Dodgeball
them.
club at lunch.
Not swimming. Yeah.
Our track team is pretty good. I know we do well in that.
Mhm.
We have a
Uh,
hockey team. don't
Maybe I
so.
think. Yeah, I think so. Maybe I don't know. And also the phys ed teachers are also really great. Like I know I'm not a sports guy. I only took gym in grade 9. But I remember my sports teacher, phys ed teacher, Mr. Blakey, cool guy. He made me like gym a lot. And you know, I would work out in the workout room, not too much success, but it's like it's a great environment for that too. So if you're worried about sports, we got you covered.
Mhm. Also, like academics, like even though ESA is an art school, you know, it's also a good school in itself. So I wouldn't, you know, like take that too strongly into account.
It's a common misconception that art schools are like secondary when it comes to academics, but it's on the contrary. I think ESA is one of the top schools for that in the TDSB, if I'm correct in that. Like our academics are very, very strong, and you know it is a lot of work, but you're getting the best of both worlds. So
And then we have another question. What happens if you want to apply to start in September, but you're not in grade 9?
Any grade can apply unless like you're grade 7 or below. But if you're in grade 8 to grade I don't know if we accept grade 12, but you can apply any the same anyway. Just do the video, make the art. I don't know if that answered the question properly. You can ask us to clarify if that was it.
Yeah, like applications, as with, you know, like all high schools, are happening throughout the winter, and audition process sort of happens roughly January, February. So, you know, if you're like finishing grade 9 this year, then you would have to be applying in grade 10 to start in grade 11, if that's what you meant. So
Yeah, if you have any specific questions that you want us to answer, I have my Instagram there if you guys want to also paste your Instagram.
yes.
If you have any more questions now in the chat, you can, or in the Q&A, you can drop them. We got all day. Not really, but we have a lot of time.
We have like 15 minutes.
Does the ESA have a swimming pool? No, we don't have a swimming pool, but we do have a swimming club, and they go to, I believe, a community center or a recreational center to practice.
Our Talk 14, yeah, come watch it. Follow all of our, follow all the ESA stuff. Yeah.
Yes, subscribe to ESA.
You want
Be able to see like so much of what we do, and
Yeah.
all of the really smart people
the
there.
the community. Will, do you want to talk about what an ARTCON is, or Sasha or Emma?
Yeah, my computer's about to die, so I'm just gonna
Oh, good.
real quick. I'll be right back.
What ARTCON is? Yeah, just it's we're doing a series of webinars and sort of talks. I gave one earlier today. It'll be up on the YouTube
It's
channel
very good.
in the near future. Thank you. Oh, what an art talk is. Oh, whoops.
Art talk.
ARTCON.
I'm going deaf. Art talk is we do these little presentations. They're sort of just glimpses into how we talk in class. I like to think of them like that. They are presentations that ESA students do on their art, or how they think about art, how they make art, often accompanied by a slideshow or some kind of a visual medium. Today, or this year, they're going to all be videos and edited videos, which is very cool. I'm excited. And they just our students talking about art, and that they're really insightful. Some of them are funny, some of them are incredible. They're all incredible. I highly recommend watching them. We also have all of our old ones on the Insta. We also have all of our old ones on the YouTube channel. We did them at the OCAD before, Ontario College of Art and Design, in one of their lecture halls. Really cool stuff. Yeah, you use them as inspiration. Yeah.
They're also on our TikTok. Some of them are on our TikTok. Oh, those are Portfolio Day videos. But yeah, definitely check out the Portfolio Day videos. They're amazing, as well as the art talks. And yeah.
Sorry, was anyone going to tell me that ESA has a TikTok? I go to this school.
I run the TikTok.
Incredible.
Go follow us on TikTok. It's ESA Contemporary Art with dots in the middle, like esa.contemporary.art. Yeah, make it go viral.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Oh, new question.
is the school diverse?
In what sense do you mean? Artists? Yes. So we have a lot of diverse mediums. We have a lot of diverse minds. What else?
Okay. Yeah, so I think someone just pointed out that they're probably referring to racially diverse, and I really was only in the school for like a very short period of time, so maybe one of the grade 11s should speak on just like that. I would say there are a lot of white people for the most part, so like that's real. I think that the demographic that you see with like the four of us is fairly representative of the overall demographic, which, you know, I think that ESA has had some unfortunate history with racism, but it's a very inclusive environment. We have a lot of LGBT spaces. I think that the school is a vast majority girls, but we, it is a very diverse and inclusive environment in a lot of ways. But I think that like racially there is a divide there, and it's difficult to say what the cause of that is. And obviously, like, I can't speak to what the experience of students of color is at the school. So, I would not let that affect your decision of high school, because I've only seen positive things from ESA, and I think that you can really get a lot out of it. But yeah, that is sort of the situation diversity-wise.
And if you are having any doubts at all, or you're afraid or anything, please reach out to me. I can help you. And yeah, there's also like a diverse group chat that we have in the school for people of color and women of color. So please just reach out, and yeah.
Yeah. Any last questions?
Burning
No,
questions that you've been hiding because you think we'll be embarrassed by them?
no bad questions. You can always, get us on Instagram and ask us, contact us. Yeah, don't be scared for the audition. Really, like, it was one of the most positive experiences of my life. It's fun. It's a great way to get into the swing of making art. It's
Yeah.
like you can do it if you really love art. There's no reason you shouldn't.
And don't feel intimidated by us either. Feel free to message and talk to any of us on Instagram. We're doing this presentation, but we're also just high school students, and we love to talk to people about ourselves, because that's all we do in school every day. And we love to talk to other people about them and their art. So we would love to speak with you guys and hear your concerns, your thoughts.
See your art. Show us your art.
Yeah. Please show us your art.
Reach out.
All went through it, and we're continuously going through it as well, even with portfolio day. So don't worry, we're all on the same level. So please just reach out.
Like, yeah, like genuinely, I feel the exact same as I did in grade 8 applying as I do now. Maybe like a little bit different. I think I've changed a little bit, but I don't feel that old. So yeah, we don't look down on you. That's not a thing. Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, thank you everyone so much for attending. I hope this was informative. This will be posted on our YouTube channel afterwards. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope we didn't make fools of ourselves in front of 10, 20 people. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
On to other ARTCON sessions.
At ESA in the future. Apply.
Bye.
Oh.
Thank you, Oscar. Thank you for coming.
Oh my
For
God.
having the confidence to speak.
Should I stop sharing?
Yeah. Jane Forrest is here. What are you doing
I couldn't
here?
see the chat.
Jane.
It was so stressful.
Scariest thing I've ever done in my
Was
whole
this literally just ESA students?
That would be pretty funny.
That would be really funny.